super ready, excited for the day. It's going to be an amazing day. Back to this.
We need more filling. Gather two.
Best show ever in front of
A very happy Tuesday to you.
And
Hello.
to you. And to you.
And you too.
And also that guy.
Especially you, in
Not
fact.
so much you.
I'm so happy y'all are here.
I am Erinn.
I am Dan.
And this is Erinn and Dan, but it's live.
That's right. That means that my name is Erinn, actually.
I'm Dan.
And this is live. It's so live. It is currently 8:01 on Tuesday, May 7th. If you're out there, go ahead and shoot a comment in and we'll prove to you that we're live right now.
Boom! Look at that. She's
tempting the
talking about
pregnant girl with
pickles.
pickles.
Pickles and pregnancy in the first minute of the show.
Hey, you know it's going to be
It's
a
a
good
good
show
omen.
if you have someone pregnant talking about pickles right away. Hi, Abby.
Here's your $20.
Thanks for joining us. Everyone, thanks so much for being here today. It is going to be an amazing day. Do you know why, Dan?
Why?
Today is National Teacher Appreciation Day.
That is so true, which explains why Bill McNally just walked out of a bar.
Oh, Bill, you needed a better teacher. Hey,
Yeah.
Danny, nice to see you. I am so thrilled you're all here today.
I am too. If you're joined us, thank you for being here. You can follow us here, and here. If you're hearing each and every week, sorry, my lips.
Are you okay?
My lips. I just ate 13 popsicles and I'm practically frozen
I was
shut.
wondering what you were doing.
Yeah. Well, you had your own.
Sometimes Dan just goes into the kitchen and shuts the refrigerator door, and I don't know what he's doing. I don't ask questions.
It's wise because
Yeah.
it's not often kosher. But thank you for being here. We see a lot of our old friends. Thanks for being here each and every week. If you're new to the stream, welcome to it, and thanks for being here. We're glad to have you. Say
We
hello
sure are.
in the comments.
Absolutely. Are there any teachers out there tonight? If there are, go ahead and put "I'm a teacher" and tell us what you teach.
Go ahead and put "I'm a teacher."
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, let us know where you're coming in from, where you teach, what grades, what subjects, what you love, what you hate, what you're okay with.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Larry, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Josh. Hope things are going well at home, given the new child
That's
in
right.
your domicile.
That guy right there, he's tuning in from Minnesota, which is where our special guest is from today, too.
Yes, it's a very Minnesota episode.
It is.
Albeit without the coolness, because we have a very warm white balance on this stream today, and I'm not quite sure why. But
It's also pretty warm outside. It's very muggy today.
Yeah.
It's like that North Carolina humidity you feel.
Here's the thing about North Carolina. You get like this razor-thin margin of spring where things are like lovely and sunshiny and sweet, and then it just turns into a muggy disaster for 4 months.
It does. Janie is a teacher. Hey, Janie, thanks for being awesome and amazing.
Art school, K through 8th. What do you teach differently to kindergartners in art than you do 8th graders in art? Just a quick question. Let me know.
And also, Abby's a teacher. Thanks for being here, Abby. We have someone that is going to toast to all of our teachers today, so we need to know what y'all are drinking this lovely Tuesday evening.
It should come as no surprise to anyone, but we are drinking coffee. Could you lower your cup?
Yes, I can.
Coffee. Our favorite beverage. We practically have a sponsorship from the forests of Brazil.
Look at that steam coming out. Can y'all see
That
that?
is nice.
Because that is nice looking steam.
That's extra. If you can't see it, it's because you're not a premium subscriber.
Exactly. And if you'd like to be a premium subscriber, it is free. Just tune in every Tuesday.
Yeah, you are. You're already here.
You are. We've got a lot of fun things to talk about tonight. We've got a lot of things to
Is it just
learn
me or does it
together.
feel kind of mellow in here today?
Mellow?
Does it feel mellow? I feel mellow.
Drink some coffee. You're going to feel better.
I'm going to drink some coffee, but not until we get our toast from our wonderful friend, Dave.
Oh, yes.
It's a segment we call
Time Now for a Toast.
Ooh, that one's going to need a little help. Toast and jam.
Except he didn't jam
He
today.
didn't jam. He's just toasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes musicians come on and they give us a little riff with a little philosophizing, but today we're just getting some toast in
Here
from
he
our
is.
good friend Dave.
Hey everybody, Dave Wills here, assistant principal at East Forsyth Middle School and good friend of both Erinn and Dan. I wanted to say cheers to all the wonderful teachers out there on this Teacher Appreciation Day. The work you do every single day, it's not easy, it's exhausting, it's challenging, But you all do it every single day, and you do it with good humor, with good spirits, and you're making a difference. So thank you so much for everything you do for all of our students each and every day, wherever you are. Cheers. Here's a toast to you. Happy Teacher Appreciation Day. Bye.
Cheers, Dave. Blink. Oh, that's the ticket.
It was just a little hot for my taste. I tried to make sure that I drank immediately so that I could get right back into the microphone and start talking again. Woo!
Dave Wills, by the way, a fine actor here in our local community, who will not be the last actor to appear on the stream today.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people not drinking alcohol this evening. Good for you.
I feel like we get very little alcohol on this channel.
There's Larry.
I feel like all the straight edge nerds come here to hang out.
Straight edge nerds.
While their friends are out clubbing and picking up chicks.
Drinking my Dole water. I like that, Diggy. Diggy, thanks for joining us. You're always here, and we love you a lot. Yeah. You guys, I have so many things to share with you, but I want to give a shout out to my favorite teacher, who was my mommy. I was homeschooled from kindergarten through college, and there is my first day of school. That is 7-year-old Erinn. And what I used to do when I was homeschooled is I literally used to take my bicycle and I would leave from my garage and I would say goodbye to my mom and pack a lunch. And then I would ride my bicycle to the front door of my house and I would say hello to my teacher, Jan, who was there. So, Mom, if you're out there, which I think you might be.
They call that public school role play.
Yeah.
Like LARPing, but dull.
Exactly.
By the way, if I wish I'd had it, because this Erinn in this picture, I swear to God, looks just like I did at that age, but in like a black curly wig.
It's true. We have the same jawline. There's my mom, gender.
We have the same. People often say that to us. They say, you two must be lovers. You share a jawline.
People say that they wonder if we're lovers or if we are brothers and sisters because we have the same eyes.
One reference to us as lovers was okay, but you made it weird with two.
You're the one that said lovers
I know,
first.
once. Whoa! I don't know why it happens, but it does.
It does sometimes.
It does, you know?
Guess what we did this last weekend?
What did we do?
Dan Beckman starred in a show at Spring Theater called Every Brilliant Thing. Does anybody know that show out there? It is a one-man show, and it is about this little boy who is 7 years old who tries to combat his mother's depression with this list of every brilliant thing about the world. And it's the most wonderful play. It's interactive with the audience. It was such an amazing experience. I haven't had this much post-show depression for a show I've not been on stage for, maybe ever.
I have to say it was one of my favorite theater experiences of all time. And I think a few of you in the chat were there. Yeah, Jessica Branch was there. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate that. I really loved seeing you there. It's a piece that means a lot to us. So there's me disassociating on LSD at the end of the show.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, well, that's what I remember.
Not what happened at all.
Yeah, well.
You know what was cool about this show for me personally is it affected every single person in a different way.
Yeah.
And it affected me differently every night. Sometimes I got choked up at different points. Sometimes I laughed at different points. It was really interesting.
Yeah, that's the beauty of theater, isn't it? It all reaches people on different levels. But it was cool to do a show that, here's the thing. Here's the skinny on producing theater. If you want to bring people to your show, you do shows like Joseph.
Yep.
Right?
Mamma Mia.
If you wanted, Mamma Mia. I'm sure now that Waitress is out, everyone's doing Waitress. Jersey Boys is all over the place. Beauty and the Beast is going back in the vault, so people are doing that because those shows draw a crowd and they make money. When you want to do interesting, unique, and powerful theater, it just takes a little bit more muscle in a lot of communities from a producer standpoint. What I loved about this show is that people left feeling a lot of different ways, and we had a lot of discourse after the show. There were a lot of tears, a lot of hugs. And to me, that's what it's all about is
absolutely,
bringing an experience and having a cathartic journey. And that show, Every Brilliant Thing, if you ever get the chance to see it, it'll stretch your heart because it really brings you to both ends of the emotional spectrum.
And what's really cool is there's a lot of themes that are maybe a little bit adult in that show. And what was awesome is some kids came to the show and, we told everybody everything up front. And it inspired so much positive conversation between adults and kids and, well, everyone really. So it was fun. It was amazing. It was magical.
And now it's over. So all that's left to do is to to sit around yesterday, and Erinn and I. Okay, so after we close the show, we do a thing called traditional "Don't Do Anything" day.
We love it
when we can. Usually on a Monday, we're dark.
Yep.
And what we did yesterday is played. I estimate about 8 hours of Stardew Valley.
Oh my gosh. If anybody out there has played Stardew Valley, let me know, because we play split screen and we have an amazing farm together, and we're growing all sorts of things. We're growing corn and eggplants
and bored of each other. Thank you. Good night.
Dan loves his sound effect board.
I'm gonna get some better stuff on there at some point and actually make use of it.
I like it.
Yeah, but
I
these are like
think it's cool.
these are like the preloaded things. They're just.
Oh my gosh, you had a badumcha and you didn't tell me until now?
I should have been doing that. I should have been using that the whole time.
Literally, I could have just had an hour of dad jokes
Say
for
something.
all of y'all.
Say something funny.
Something funny.
I hated that. Do something better.
Hey, I went to the store the other day and I ordered 12 Bs.
Yeah.
And I got home and I realized there were 13, so I took one back. And they said, "Nah, that's a freebie."
Good night.
Wait, come back.
I'm here.
I'm so excited about that sound effect board.
Yeah, I bet
I'm
you
gonna
are.
just sit in here.
Okay, if Erinn Durst were an electronic, she'd be a sound effect
I
board.
think that's true.
Yeah.
And if you were an electronic, you would be one of those things that adjusts the bass of the sound. When the bass
like
is
a
like
fader,
or it's like, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You do this in the car all the time. You're like, oh, the bass is blah, blah, blah.
I'd be like
and you adjust it. And
low
I
end.
don't even know what you're talking about.
You saying it'd be a low end EQ knob?
I think you would.
That's the rudest thing anyone has ever said to me in my entire life.
Carrie says you didn't do a positivity corner last week. I promise I've got one coming.
See, this is what happens when we skip segments. Our crowd comes after us and they bash down our castle door and hold us accountable.
Literally, there was a log through the door last week.
And carry through it.
Exactly. I promise there's one coming. You know what else is coming?
What?
The Dan Beckman photography picture of the week. Woo! What is this picture all about, Daniel?
Y'all, we went to... Excuse me. I'm so
sorry. I do not know
sorry.
why you just belched into the...
I didn't. The acidity of the balance is we went to Africa on our honeymoon and we went on safari for like 5 days, and
it was amazing.
It was amazing. And this is something we actually, with our eyes, saw. Well, everyone else kind of saw it sort of as dots. I had a 600 millimeter lens, so I get to watch this cheetah mother defend her children and her fresh kill from this jackal that was hunting. And I was watching this unfold through a 600 millimeter lens. And then suddenly these wildebeest just walked in perfect sequence behind the shot, as you can see there, which, Nat Geo, I'm here. If you're short on talent, which I know you are, no one knows how to take pictures these days.
It was amazing. And you know what? That's not like, well, it is a pretty incredible photograph, but I'd say you took better photographs.
Yeah, I agree.
Photographically.
But the moment
something
was,
that we'll never experience again.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, literally that background just coming off the savannah, that was pretty cool.
Really, really cool. If you ever get a chance to go to Kenya, I encourage it. Or Tanzania, but we loved Kenya the most because of the people.
Kenya
and if there's any
is the best.
Tanzanians watching, it's nothing personal.
Exactly. So 2024 is a big year for me.
Yes.
I am learning. I have decided that this year I am learning one new thing every single day, and I've been sharing it with you every single week. So here is Erinn's year of learning, starting
love this
with
part. All right.
April 3rd, because I never tell Dan what I'm learning.
No.
April 30th, I learned that. This is crazy, y'all. The Eiffel Tower gets taller in the summer. When the iron heats
that
up,
makes sense.
the tower can be up to 6 inches taller due to the thermal expansion. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
I just never knew. So,
yeah, well, I mean, who would? But I guess that's true of every metal structure on Earth.
But the Eiffel Tower, every time I look at it now, I'm going to be like, wonder how you're doing up there.
So when it gets smaller, is France like, don't look, it's cold in here.
Pretty much.
All right, next.
All right, on May 1st, I learned, this is crazy, a shrimp's heart is in its head.
What?
And if that wasn't interesting enough, due to the nature of their open circulatory system, shrimp have no arteries, so their organs just float around in their blood.
No.
I promise you.
What?
Isn't that bizarre?
So I've seen shrimps that need deveining, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying the organs like float around in those veins?
Yes. They're literally like just hanging out. There's no arteries in a shrimp. and their heart is right here.
I don't know how that works.
They're like,
but
I love you.
I ain't God.
It's cool.
That is wild.
On May 2nd, I learned that sloths can hold their breath for up to 30 minutes.
Wow.
They do so by slowing their heart rate. That's more. The other animal that can hold their breath for a long time
Hey, John.
is a dolphin, but they can only do it for 10 minutes, which is still impressive, but nothing about the sloth. So.
Can I just say that sloth right there is my spirit animal? Look at him.
It is. He kind of looks like you, Dan.
His only priority today is scratching his belly. I love it. To be a sloth.
I think that if you were another animal other than a human, it would be a sloth.
Really?
And I love sloths. I want to cuddle with them all day.
I do feel slothy sometimes.
On May 3rd, I learned that Venus is the only planet that spins clockwise. Did you know this? Okay, so every 225 Earth days, Venus travels around the sun, but Venus rotates clockwise once every 243 days. Is that crazy?
So a day on Venus is 243 Earth days?
Yeah,
That is a lot to take in.
I know.
Imagine the work week.
It's mind-blowing. Oh my God, I love your sound machine so much.
Okay. Did it say why it spins clockwise?
I'm sure it did.
Okay. Next.
I learned on May 4th that blue whales' heartbeats can be detected from up to 2 miles away. And
Whoa.
their hearts weigh almost 400 pounds.
Wow.
That's crazy. Janice says, did you know that there's a part of the Eiffel Tower that doesn't get painted so you can see all of the colors that the tower has been over the years? I did not know that.
Oh,
Very
like
cool.
Like the edge of the... Wait, have they repainted it a bunch?
I guess.
Huh.
I didn't know that. I actually thought it was just metal, regular metal.
Metal.
I don't know. On May 5th, this is my favorite fact of the week. I learned that there's a fruit that tastes like chocolate pudding.
Wow. What is it?
It's native to Central and South America. It's called the black sapote, S-A-P-O-T-E. It tastes like a combination of sweet custard and chocolate. Isn't that amazing? I want one so badly.
Let's find one.
I'm so excited
Can we get one
about
imported?
Well, I'm going to try. Literally, I just found this fact out 2 days ago, and so I'm on it.
And let me tell you, if anyone on Earth can get fruit imported from South America, it's Erinn Culling Dirth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry. And the last fact I learned on May 6th was ketchup used to be used as medicine.
How?
Back in 1834, people with indigestion were given prescriptions for ketchup.
What?
I am not joking.
Isn't ketchup like pure acid because of the tomatoes?
Doctors used to tell people to smoke for their health, bro.
True. Good point. I just wonder, you ever wonder what caused people to think the way that they thought?
Yes. And still.
And someday
And
people are going to be
still
looking
do.
back at 2024 and they're going to be like, can you believe people used to put peanut butter?
People are going to look at this podcast in 30 years and they're going to be like, what primitive people?
Can we just start this all over? I'm having a bad time.
No. You're not having a bad time. Are you?
No. You're...
You guys, coffee is essential to life. While I have been learning things this year, Dan has been learning things about musicians.
I have picked one artist each and every week and tried to study their entire discography. This week, because of Every Brilliant Thing, the show, the one-man show, which deals a lot with the 50s and 60s jazz and soul scene, I chose Nina Simone, an artist I've been wanting to explore for a long time. Our guest is applauding in the green room. Must be a big Nina Simone fan. But I had known very little about her, and I started using her music in the show as kind of a leitmotif because there's just a quality about her. First of all, her voice, but also her poetry that's enchanting, haunting, and unique to her. And what's cool about Nina Simone is, first of all, she started as a concert pianist. She did not sing, and we know her for her voice, but she was encouraged to sing by her early producer who said it would give audiences something more to latch onto. But she became, after her initial jazz career, she became very involved in the civil rights movement. And she wrote a song called Mississippi Goddamn. And
that's the worst thing you've ever said on this show.
Well, it's what it's called.
It's okay.
It's just what it's
You're
called.
You're quoting a very respectable woman,
yes,
so it's okay.
And although apparently she was pretty surly and violent and abusive in her old age, but who isn't? And if you're Nina Simone, you can just go
I was
going to
say, who isn't?
But it was a song that was kind of protesting the behavior of like the South during the mid-century America, and you know how record labels used to send out promotional records to radio stations to try to get airplay. They got a bunch of these records smashed and returned to them by these radio stations, and she got banned from a whole bunch of radio play. And she, to the end of her career, said that was the song and the release that kind of put a dent in her music career. That was crazy. Kind of kept her from being as successful as she could have been. But here she is with one of the greatest legacies in music.
I mean, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Nina Simone is success
and likely because of those risks and because of her activism. And what an artist. And by the way, the best albums. Okay,
I'm ready.
Silk and Soul.
Oh, you sent me a song from that today.
Yes, excellent.
Oh, it made my heart go oof.
Silk and Soul. What's the other one? I Put a Spell on You. A lot of this like mid to late 60s stuff where she started to infuse kind of more like Motown rock and roll vibe into her stuff is it's so good.
I love it.
Her earlier stuff is like jazz and it's very good, but the later stuff, the mid stuff, it's good.
I agree.
And that's Nina Simone and Nina Simone fans. Anybody?
Yeah. We want to know if there's any Nina Simone fans out there. Look at this picture of her. This was her at Carnegie Hall. Imagine being a woman of color at that time performing at Carnegie Hall. I can't even fathom what that would be like.
You know what's funny is that song I just talked about, the famous performance of it was at Carnegie Hall. And you think about the people at that time at Carnegie Hall, almost none of them would not have been like fairly wealthy white people.
Right.
So what an impact to make.
What
also,
a brave
at
woman.
this point in her career, she was kind of closed off from her audiences. She didn't engage with her audiences very much until like the later parts of her career in like the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
Nina Simone, check her out. If you don't know her, you should.
I think so. Yeah, I love her. I have listened to Nina Simone since I was a wee one. In fact, I have several Nina Simone CDs. Kids don't even know what those are anymore.
Which ones do you know?
Nope. I never know. You know what's funny? Until you and until this project, I've paid so little attention to like the albums, what was on each album, the names, the titles when they came out. So I appreciate you doing this because it brings a lot of light.
When I was growing up, a lot of the CDs that I would end up getting was just like the best of,
same.
Because it was the easiest to latch onto. But it's really a far more interesting delve to go into artists' catalog in individual albums because you can see where that person was in the context of their life and how they wanted to express themselves at that part of their career. Way more fun to do it that way. I haven't listened to a best of. I probably won't anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm so pretentious now that I won't pick one up. So, hey, what's up, David Bowie?
Oh my gosh, great to see you. Okay, has anybody out there heard of Universal Yums?
We talked about this on the show recently.
Yeah, I can't remember which show.
I think it was a few episodes back.
But for Dan's birthday this year, I got him a subscription for Universal Yums. And every month we get this little box and we haven't opened it yet. We don't even know what country it's from. But basically, it lets you have a taste of a country.
Yeah, they partner with distributors of snacks from countries all over the world. And they package them in little boxes and you get a little sampler pack. And I love traveling and I love snacks.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect thing. Our first box was from France.
And it was awesome. And then the last one that we did was from
Ukraine, which was really cool because they talked about how they worked really, really hard to get a lot of these businesses back on their feet during the conflict, which I love. And this box, we haven't opened yet. Let's see where it's from.
Any guesses?
Yeah. If someone guesses correctly and wins, I will give you a snack from this box.
Don't say the name of it. Maybe what we can do is we can start pulling out the snacks.
Here's what we're going to do. Okay. No, what we're going to do is you can guess where it's from. And if anyone guesses correctly, we'll open it towards the end of the show.
How do you even know where it's from?
Well,
did you just see it?
Shouldn't we find it? No, but shouldn't it be a surprise? And if someone guesses correctly, I'll give you a snack from the box.
Ooh.
Huh?
Ooh.
What a deal, huh?
Nice.
You can get a packet of crisps in the mail and just trust that I didn't put anthrax in it.
Okay, well then I'm going to peek. Okay. Oh, you'll never guess.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to get this one. It's a trick question. We're just going to... Okay, if you guess any of the country, it's a collection.
It is a collection. We've got
locations.
Argentina, Romania, Japan, Germany coming in.
No, but I hope I get a Japanese box because I love Japanese.
Ooh, that would be so good.
Culture, and I love the treats from Japan.
Wow, this is
did you guess?
This is awesome.
Wait, okay.
Nobody guessed.
Nope, not correctly, but you're close, Bill.
You are close.
You're close.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one to do.
Yeah, the mystery and the suspense is building in it.
I'm excited. Should we pick a snack out?
Yeah,
and then someone can be like, I bet I know.
Okay.
Ooh, Panama is a great guess.
Okay, here's a clue.
Okay.
This is a chocolatey bar with apple and wafer and nuts called Nomeda.
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 No. No,
Ooh,
but
Croatia's a great guess.
A couple of you have gotten close.
Yep, you're close.
Yeah.
It's from 1, 2, 3 different places.
It's a specific area of the country, or of the continent.
So excited. Ooh, Colombia's a great guess.
But we got the coffee from Colombia.
Ooh,
All right.
we did. Cheers.
While people are guessing,
I could not be more excited.
I don't think I could either.
No,
In fact, I
gonna
won't
hurt.
be.
We're going to keep this box right here.
Yes.
Keep thinking, whoa, somebody just said that's
the Balkans.
not true, but I thought it was.
Yeah, there are some of the same letters to her credit.
There are. And that's
okay. You got it. You got it correct, Jan. It is from the Baltics. Look at you go. All right, I'm gonna bring you some of these snacks from the Baltics. Shut up.
I'm so excited about this.
Bring you some of the.
There's a maple bacon lentil snack that looks really, really good. There's the Nomadia bar, like Dan was saying. Oh my gosh!
Wait, what is this called? Hold on.
There's a creamy mushroom something or other in here.
These are called long chips.
They're made for you, Dan. You're long and you're like a chip.
Mashed potato snack, creamy mushroom, artificial flavor. So they usually give you and then there's like a milk chocolate pergale wafer bar. And what I love about these is that they do a really good job with the branding and the packaging. They've got information about all the places it's from, and then you open it up, and they have like packets that walk you through each of the snacks, and they give you trivia about all the things, and they even have a little QR code where you scan, and it has a curated playlist that you listen to while you enjoy the snacks of musicians from that region.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Yep. So I highly recommend Universal Yums. They don't endorse us.
They're the sponsor of today's, along with Raid Shadow Legends.
Woo! I love it.
No? Okay.
Bill says that he's seeing a band from the Baltics this Thursday.
Who's that?
So what we'll do is on Thursday, we'll eat some of our snacks from the Baltics, and then we'll be bonding wherever you're tuning in from. Bill, where are you tuning in from? Let us know. You guys, today we have the most special guest ever. This young man is named Paul Coate.
Coate.
I love that. He is
Thank
a
you.
Twin Cities-based theater artist, vocalist, director, and educator. He's a proud member of the Actors Equity Association and is the Vocal Arts Department chair at St. Paul Conservatory for Performing Arts. Paul has performed and has been in hundreds of productions, and you can catch him right now, if you want, at the Sidekick Theater in the Twin Cities in their current production of The Fabulous 50s. Please put your virtual hands together for the one, the only, Paul Coate.
Woo! Hey, how about a little bit more enthusiasm?
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Paul.
What a great introduction.
How about that? What?
So good to see you.
You too. I was so excited to see the two of you that I put on cologne and then realized that really wasn't going to have the effect I was hoping for.
Well, I feel like I can smell it though. I feel like the vibe is coming through the digital space.
Definitely.
I did put on a lot.
Yeah. Well, I can see your paint is peeling behind you.
Yeah, and you'll probably hear me cough a lot.
There's something they say about having cologne on, it like helps your confidence, and so I think that even now I can literally see your cologne all over your face.
Yeah, and also I'm a little lightheaded now, but otherwise it's going great.
We have that experience with a lot of our guests. Our friend Manny says, "Nice mustache." He's another mustache ever.
Yeah. So the mustache is actually part of the show that I'm doing right now. It's called The Fabulous Lickatones, and it's a barbershop play, a play with music, comedy, about a barbershop quartet, and that's not it, but that's another show I did. And there we go. And we are, we're doing the show for another couple of weeks here in the Twin Cities. So if anybody's around the Twin Cities area, Minneapolis, St. Paul, check us out at Sidekick Theater.
Okay,
Amazing.
Paul, I have to. So, as some of you may know, and many of you don't, Paul and I have performed together in a number. Well, I guess two productions.
That's a number.
At least, yeah.
Feels like more, but at least two that I can think of right now: Ragtime and The Grinch.
Yep.
And sensational actor, wonderful person. But Paul, I feel like I've never heard of Sidekick Theater. Are they new?
They are relatively new. Yeah, they are newer than. Well, let's see. I want to say it's been about 6 or 7 years that they've been around. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So since I've been gone, I thought I knew them all, but then
Been gone.
my song.
But yeah, you're right. You know, and I was thinking back, Dan, to when we first started hanging out, and we did a couple of shows together, and I have to, Erinn, you're gonna love this. So I found an old material from the production.
No way.
Ragtime at Park Square Theater.
Oh
Look
my!
Look at that young.
That's baby Dan.
Baby Dan Beckman. Look at that.
Oh my goodness!
Look at that. That's fresh out of college.
Wow.
Baby Paul right there. Now,
hi, baby Paul.
Pardon?
I said hi, baby Paul. I was just talking to your picture, not you.
Oh yeah. Now, would you like to see Dan as a Who?
Do you have these pictures? I was just thinking I should be doing this, but thanks for covering the bases.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
So, let me see if I can get this right here, because they're right there. Whoops, my thumb's on you. That is as a Who in The Grinch.
No way.
Wait,
that
does
right?
not.
Look
No.
like
I'm on the wrong side. It's on this side. That's Dan.
You're in there too.
Dan. Yes.
Okay, which one is you, Paul?
I'm the grandpa.
Yes.
Nice.
With the beard.
With the beard, and then that right there is Dan as the dad.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I heard about this production. I heard it was outstanding.
Well, yeah, and they do it like every couple of years at Children's Theater Company. But yeah, Dan and I had a wonderful time in Dr. Seuss land, and just making the beautiful art. So, and it's a pleasure to see both of you again. After, I know it's been quite a while. So.
Well, it's been, I was just thinking, we were talking briefly before the show. It's been since 2020, I think, since we've actually had a conversation face to face or digital face to digital face. Yeah. Because if any of y'all saw Lock-In back in 2020 or were a part of Lock-In, our socially distanced film, Paul beautifully played the president of the world.
Yes. Yes, he did. That was fun. We were actually just watching a clip of it like while we were waiting for you, and you were great in that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I gotta say, I was so impressed with how the two of you really embraced what the pandemic kind of presented for all of us from an artistic perspective, where you're just like, you know what? Yeah, we got to deal with all this. So let's make art. Let's do something fun. And I remember you did the music video of Lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lock-In, and it was just so, I don't know, you're such great gift givers and such great positive energy, and I was just honored to be a part of it.
Well, that's super sweet.
It was fun. It's fun when things happen like that, because it's like Phoenix is rising from the flames. Like all of the actors that found different ways to do things all over the world was just really kind of fun to see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you know that you in the Lemonade video, you were the one who went lemonade, and we that is the thing. Sometimes we'll just spontaneously bust into your vocal part on that.
I forgot that was Paul.
Yeah,
that happens quite often in this house.
Yeah.
I love that. Yay.
Oh my gosh! And Alex Boye, who wrote that song, found it, and then he ended up making a little cameo in the movie. So that was kind of cool.
That's right.
So much fun.
So, Paul, it is Teacher Appreciation Day. We know you're a professional. Oh, by the way, when did you go equity?
Oh, like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But the other half of your life is spent educating, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been teaching for quite a long time. At a lot of different capacities, the theaters around the area. Specifically, I'm a theater teacher. Last year, I was the chair of vocal arts at St. Paul Conservatory for Performing Artists. And then this year, I've moved over to being the chair of theater and musical theater for the same institution.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so I've taught at many institutions, high school, college, summer camps for kids of all ages. I've taught adults with developmental disabilities, things like that. And a long kind of career having my fingers in education, arts education, theater education in particular.
That's awesome. Do you have any war stories you want to share?
War stories.
Well, here's what I'll say is that like anything, Teaching is, as I believe it was David earlier said, that it's a challenging field. It's exhausting, and I think you have to love not just who you're teaching, but also what you're teaching.
Absolutely.
You have to be the biggest fan of your subject, because that's what sustains you. You have to really care about it, and you have to care about wanting to share it. And
So true.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that gets you through what could be the war stories. But I wouldn't call them that. I'd just say that it's it can be challenging in a lot of ways and rewarding in a lot of ways.
Big time.
I love that. We've done a little bit of teaching here and there, and I have to tip my hat to the education, the leaders in education amongst us, especially during, I have so many friends who are teaching during COVID.
Oof,
Mm-hmm.
And that was
a whole nother ballpark.
overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. And it was so interesting that during COVID, teaching itself changed.
Yeah.
The methods by which we were teaching, we went online or we did hybrid. There's a word I don't want to hear again. And but that at the same time, like, I also think that it's really important for us to think about what the students at these ages endured as they had to pivot and shift through all of these changes. Because after COVID and during COVID, and then since then, we're relearning how to learn. We're relearning how to teach. We're relearning how to be in a room together and to socialize and to interact. And so I would say that it's a necessary and unavoidable struggle coming out of COVID to figure out how to do this education thing again. And so I think that's why, if you've heard people talk about the challenges of education, especially post-COVID, it's because we're relearning how to do this. And I think that it's a relearning for the teachers and for the students and for the administrators all together.
So let me ask you this then. I'm curious because, like, what COVID did for we all are aware of the negative side of that, but what it did for business and things like that is that it taught us that we don't necessarily all have to be present in a workplace for a 5-day work week.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of that kind of influence reshape how we approach education?
Well, that's a really great question. I think one of the things that has, I think, reshaped or been reshaped in education is during COVID, we spent so much time on these screens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were all kind of conditioned to utilize these screens as tools, and they're valuable tools. But, and this as theater artists, art and that kind of human connection, while we can do things through screens, which you have proven, during COVID, that face-to-face interaction is so vitally important. And so I really believe that coming out of that, arts education in particular is going to be, as long as it's well supported and well funded, it's going to be the thing that really helps students and teachers and all of us humans working together to learn things. It'll help us out of it, but it is going to take a while because we're having to relearn how to be connected and to communicate.
Yeah.
Especially with the kids, I always felt bad for the ones that were just going off to college or just going off to high school, just going off to that next level of whatever they were going to do at the beginning of their period, because they didn't get, like, some of them just didn't have the college experience or the high school experience. Yeah. And that's a time they won't really get back.
I got to tell you, that was the thing that when 2020 happened and I had this group of seniors who were, 2 months away from graduation, and they had their theater projects that they were putting together, their student-directed productions, and it was heartbreaking that these kids who were just so vibrant and ready to, tackle the world, suddenly everything shut down for them. But at the same time, I also saw, and I know the word is used so much, but I saw resiliency. I saw real strength in them. And I still keep in touch with the students who graduated back in 2020. I even just hired one of them to be a choreographer for the show I directed this past January.
Amazing.
And she's about to graduate from college at Columbia College in Chicago in musical theater. And those kids are fine. Like they went through a lot, but they also had the tools they needed. I think that what all of us, like this is like a national conversation, really need is to recognize that we say it takes a village, right? The village is so needed right now for kids right now. And so at a time when I know that the education profession has taken some punches, like now is actually the time where we really need like a teacher army of love to just descend. We need new people getting into the field because it's going to take more of us, not less of us, to help these kids through this time and to help each other through this time. So if that's my soapbox message, then I just delivered it.
Boom. Yes.
I love it.
And I just wanted to touch on what I think is, I love that you said that the kids that came out had the tools and resources they need to be fine later on. And I think that's something that we lose track of as adults is that we look down at kids and we say, well, that's not how I grew up. And these kids, are going through this, that, and the other thing. But when we were kids, our parents were saying the same thing and it's all we knew. And when something is all you know, it's much easier to find that palatable and to learn how to navigate those waters.
So true.
Absolutely. And that's true of every generation. See, I'm Generation X.
Okay.
And so let me tell you, we got a lot of flack from they thought we were up to no good. And they might have been right in part. But but that's the thing, every generation, like there's this like this weird kind of looking down on thing that you mentioned that it's just destructive.
You see it in music all the time. This is like
in everything.
In everything. I just feel like it's funny because like my dad was like, "Oh, this crap that's on the radio today," and then his dad didn't like him listening to Lollipop, and then his dad didn't like whatever Miles Davis song
and
he had on.
At some point, someone was like, "That Tchaikovsky is no good."
George Frederick Handel.
Yeah, no.
Devil music. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I say, if we could just get Drake and Kendrick to stop fighting, we're going to be okay.
But then we'd be down like 6 or 7 pretty decent diss tracks at this point. So I say keep the fire burning. We don't need to quit for the game.
You're an instigator. Yeah.
He is. He is. What's been cool is Dan's doing this music project, and he's been diving into a different artist every week. And he always works on looking at the artist and the music and not necessarily judging the people for being, good or bad, because we all have stuff that's, questionable.
Like I did Kanye, and there's plenty to dislike about that. But when someone's influential to, the medium, I think it's worth exploring.
Yeah.
And since we're here and we're just having fun, you seem like you have strong opinions on Nina Simone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was so excited to hear you talk about Nina Simone. Yeah. And in fact, I do have on vinyl a recording of her singing that Mississippi song.
Yeah.
And there's also on that recording that I have is a really fun recording of Pirate Jenny from the Threepenny Opera.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd recommend that. She's just so expressive.
Yeah.
And that low voice that just it rumbles, but there's just expressiveness in that voice that I was so excited to hear that you have hopped on the Nina Simone train.
Oh, I love her. And she's an artist meant for vinyl too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I feel like you can hear her emotion in everything she sings. Like you can literally hear whatever she's feeling through a voice. And it's crazy. You don't need to be watching it like some of the other artists to feel what they're thinking. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Threepenny Opera stuff. She has she has several albums that are based on old folk music, like some of it it seems like almost medieval era folk music that she performs. And she did a lot of African folk music and she really covered all over the bases. She did a cover of pop songs from the 70s and 60s and kind of did her own spin on them to make, she's awesome.
Yeah.
I was super excited to hear you.
Yeah.
Good
That's
for
what-
you.
Who are you doing next week?
I don't know yet. I got to figure that out. Any suggestions? Who should I do, Paul? Who's a big
Yeah.
departure from Nina Simone who's important?
A departure from Nina Simone.
Yeah, I always try to so that I can keep them compartmentalized, get a big distance in style between week to week.
Gotcha. You know who? Okay, so I'm biased, obviously.
Yeah.
So you know who I'm gonna suggest you check out, and this is, you mentioned folk music, right?
Uh-huh.
I think you should check out a singer by the name of Susan Werner.
Ooh.
Susan Werner.
Susan Werner. Now, Susan Werner has done folk music and in various different styles, and likes to explore different styles in each album. And so there's like a country album, a New Orleans jazz album, Cuban.
Dan loves that,
music.
especially when he's deep dive.
Oh, are you there? Are you there? Oh no! Did I lose him? Well, folks, I don't know if I'm live or they're live, but it appears that they are frozen on my screen. Hello? Oh no! Hello? What happened? They're frozen on my screen. It's my show now. Okay. Well, folks, we have lost Dan and Erinn, and so here I am. So we were just talking about Susan Werner, and that's who we think that Dan Beckman should watch next, or listen to next. And I encourage all of you to do the same thing. So anyway, we've got about 14 minutes left, and we are talking today about education. So I am really interested, if you go into the chat, who are some of your favorite teachers? Give a shout out to a favorite teacher in the chat. While we listen to it, it'll be all good times. While you do that, I want to talk a lot about, their power went out. Their power went out in their house. I just got a text. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm running the show now. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Good. Awesome. I want you to talk about your favorite teachers, and I'll go ahead and read some of the things I see in the chat. I also want to give a shout out to my favorite teachers. My favorite teachers in high school. There were two in particular, Mary Lou Jackson and Jim Eisenhart, both of whom passed away recently in the last couple of years. I was fortunate to be able to be present at both of their memorial services. Mary Lou Jackson was my music teacher, and Jim Eisenhart was my theater teacher. And let me tell you, I did not know in high school what I wanted to do with my life. And those two introduced me to theater and music in ways that made it accessible. I discovered that I had talent, and they really took me under their wing. And I am, for the rest of my life, in their debt, or in debt to them. And I'm so excited, actually, this year to be able to take a group of students of graduated seniors from our Performing Arts Conservatory to New York at the end of the year. Just like Jim Eisenhart, Mr. E, as we call him, took me my senior year of high school. So, look who we have. I'm so excited to welcome our guest.
Tip my hat to you. I have two things to say.
I'm so impressed.
First of all, our power went out. So that's what happened there. Second of all, our viewership is much higher than when we left. So
we just need to leave and let you
think
continue.
Just to remind everybody, this is Paul, but it's live. And my special guests today, who have returned to us after a power outage, Erinn and Dan. Thanks so much for being with us today. Hi.
No, thank you for having us. It's a big honor.
Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of comments that came in. I don't know if you saw them because we're broadcasting live on several different things. So there might be a
We're
stream
talking about
of things.
favorite teachers right now.
Great.
Mwah.
What you're the best.
You are the best.
So far, I got to give shout outs here. We got Mr. Sloop, Kristen Del Grado, high school English teacher of Bill McNally's. Let's see, what else do we have? Mrs. Oakley, she took us to the cadaver lab and just had the coolest anatomy teacher ever.
Oof. That sounds so good.
Okay.
I only read so she had the coolest anatomy, and that caught me off guard.
It did kind of cut off at a weird place.
It was cadaver that really like jumped out at me.
That's common fare around these parts. Yeah,
Dan,
we're in the South.
What about you? Who was your favorite teacher?
I had an astronomy teacher called Mr. Humoller, who astronomy was one of my favorite elective classes. I've always loved sciences, and he's such a good teacher, so good with kids, and just one of those presences you just really want at the front of the classroom who's, like you said, is passionate about what they're teaching and also has a really good way of connecting with kids. And isn't it, I think you run the risk in teaching of course, running into people like any job where people kind of end up showing up and just kind of getting through the day after a while. And I had a number of teachers in our public school system that were excellent. And, they all made us who we were, right?
So true. Even the bad ones. I mean, bad is all subjective. But we all have that teacher that we hated, but they still made an impact on us for sure. And I think that that's really interesting. And I think that that's something that we should always take into account is even if someone's not someone who's speaking to you directly, it probably made you a little bit tougher or harder inside.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because one of the things that jumps out at me about teaching now that I've done it for a while is that I'll have students who I thought didn't like me or what have you, come back 4 or 5 years later and say, hey, I remember you taught me this thing and I really appreciate that. Or, I think the big thing with teaching is that you're planting seeds you may never actually see the plant of or the fruit blossom or all of that. And so that's one of the things that makes it so hard, is that we have this human desire for kind of instant gratification. And what we're doing with young people is we are guiding them through a really difficult thing called life and figuring out how the world works. And they're going to be okay because we helped.
Right.
Because other people helped too. It's not just one teacher. It's everybody working together. Like I said, the village, right? And one of the really hard things for teachers to remember, I think often, myself included, I'm getting super self-critical, is that you know what? I'm not here to make this kid happy today.
Yeah.
I'm here to help this kid be okay tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that.
That's so good.
And what selfless work, and often thankless work too, because again, you grow up as a kid, and from the age of 4 to the age of 18, it's just what you do is you go and you sit in class and you listen to what is being told to you and you do it. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
And I think that, hindsight is probably 20/20 for a lot of people. I wish I could go back now with my thirst for knowledge and my desire to know more about the world around me and just, go back and really appreciate and take in all that experience. I feel like that's got to be a very common experience though, and desire.
Being homeschooled, I remember my mom specifically telling me oh, you're going to miss this time. You're going to miss the time when I assigned you reading. You're going to wish that and it's true. I would love to just go back, and my whole assignment is to just soak up in my sponge of a brain.
Yep.
But you can't tell them. They're going to have to figure it out the hard way in the long run.
So true.
Right.
And it's neat too how different people really do have different effects on you. Dan and I teach theater, which is not the same thing, but it's still kind of, the same vein. And I will reach certain kids that he can't reach.
Yep.
And then there are kids that literally I worked with for years and years and years, didn't think they were going anywhere in theater. Dan comes in, works with him for an hour, and then it's like, oh, something clicked. And the way that he got to them is completely different. So it's just, it's important to everyone should teach. And even if you're having that hard student, just know that you're getting through to somebody.
Getting through to somebody. Oh, and that's so true. I think about students who I've talked to who have said, hey, you helped me stay in school. You helped me, not drop out, or I was going through a hard time and you were the class I look forward to, and things like that. And I will also say this, because teaching is a challenging occupation. And so for all teachers out there, or even former teachers who maybe have been like, oh, I left the profession, because a lot of teachers have recently. The thing that they can't take away from you is the fact that once you've helped a human being, you can't unhelp.
Oh, I love that. You can't unhelp.
Yeah. You have made an impact. and you have helped people, and so therefore you don't have to keep doing the same kind of help all the time, but because and I do believe it's important for teachers to give themselves breaks, and it's important for you don't want to be burnt out, right?
Yeah.
But you can't undo the good you've done.
So true.
I love that.
And I think that's a really important thing for teachers, past, present, and future, to keep in mind, because it is a challenging profession. Some people can do it for 50 years. Some people can do it for 10. Some people can do it for 20.
Yep.
But if you can contribute for a period of time, it is a very noble and honorable thing to do.
I totally agree with you. I have to ask you one more thing.
Sure.
And just coming from someone who, we don't have kids and we don't plan on having kids, but we have a children's theater, and so we do nurture,
And we love kids.
and we love kids, and in a way, our own way, educate kids. And as a person who is an educator and a parent, I'm just curious if you find any sort of, what's your view on your opportunity to nurture and fill in gaps that might be in that kid's life while they're in your class?
Ooh, that's a really great question. I think one of the really hard things is that if a child is coming from a deficit of some sort, right? You're looking at the fact that you can't necessarily fill every gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a teacher can't be a kid's parent, even though sometimes we're asked to be, right? A teacher can't be a kid's mental health professional, even though sometimes we're asked to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our limitations, and the need often is so much far greater than let alone the obligation, but what's actually the effort that's put in. The need is up here, and there is a gap. And I think the thing to remember is that your job is not to fill the whole bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to just put something in the bucket.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
And you know what? Sometimes, I mean, I've had it happen that kids are hurt. That it's commonly said that a lot of times teachers, myself included, feel like we don't get the respect we'd like from students. Sometimes students don't have the capacity to give it, right?
Yeah.
But what I really try to push is push the narrative with students, and especially theater students and art students, that your capacity for kindness equals your capacity for artistry. And not only that, but other-centeredness is really the key to your own self-preservation. And kids are by nature and inherently very self-centered, because they're starting to become grown-ups for the first time, right?
So true.
They're learning how to do that, and that's super scary. And so they want to just stay in that, it's about me, it's about me, it's about me.
Yeah.
But slowly over time, if you can learn, you as students, if we can teach kids to be other-centered and recognize that they're part of something larger than themselves, and that their capacity to build community
Yes.
is equal to their capacity to thrive as a person.
Building community is something that we all have the ability to do. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good. Wow. Paul, you speak so well.
Stop it.
Okay.
You're setting a new precedent, and we can't possibly match it.
I know, right? Nobody's going to be as
this is over. I'm done.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for teaching us today, and thanks for all of your insight. I hope that these that you're giving right now are little seeds that all of you guys out there watching can take and think about this week. I know we have a lot of teachers watching, but also a lot of students, and we're all students of life. So thank you for all of that.
My pleasure. Yeah,
Paul,
it's so great to see you.
Yeah,
Me
so
too.
good to see you. And we always ask, and you've dropped a lot of this already, but we always ask our guests to leave us with a little bit of personal wisdom or something that's on your heart that might be something that somebody needs to hear right now. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, there's a great poet named Chumbawamba who said, "I get knocked down, but I get up again, and you're never gonna keep me."
And don't you also just take a whiskey drink and a lager drink, and do you prescribe to that too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, for the good times.
Well, you know what?
There's
What
times.
else? What else needs to be said, Paul? Nothing.
We love you so much. If you are in the Twin Cities area, make sure you check out Paul in the Fabulous 50s. It is going to be... Oh, what is it called?
Fabulous Lipitones.
Oh, the Fabulous Lipitones. My bad.
It's okay.
We would have a slide for you, but the power outage derailed our entire tech team.
Yeah.
They're on a union break. So.
Actors are in their 50s, but it's
Got it.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a good week, and it's gonna be a better week now that you've. Oh, there it is. Here it comes. Go see this show. It's gonna be a better week now that we have this new insight from you. Thanks. We love you, Paul. Mwah.
Love you too. Go Saints.
Go Saints, baby. Repping that hometown. Adios, brother.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're right at time, but we have to have a positivity corner this week.
Otherwise, Carrie will throw another javelin through our chest.
Exactly. And I have so much to share. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage, as they say, Dan Beckman.
Oh, and it's Bean footage, because I don't know if y'all know this, but Erinn, my little pet name for Erinn is Bean.
Yeah, I'm a bean.
So,
Here it is. Dan.
I couldn't hold it.
You guys, this week's Positivity Corner is on your brilliant things and how to find them. And this is a visual I wanted to share with you. During every brilliant thing, we had audience members come in and add to the wall of brilliant things. These are things in the brilliant sense of the English term. So amazing, wonderful, anything in the world that brings you joy. And look at all of these incredible, incredible sticky notes that we had literally all over the theater. We had one wall that was the set of the show, and the other 3 walls, because we were in a thrust, were covered in sticky notes of positive things.
And it was really cool because people would come in and while they were waiting for the show, they had, I mean, they could read everything on the wall. I mean, there were thousands.
Yes.
And in fact, I had my nose so deep in the process that I didn't really get to read very many of those, but we have them boxed up and saved for later for if we ever need a lift or if we ever take the show on tour. We can
Absolutely.
We can paste them around America.
And there were so many amazing things. So right now in the comments, as we leave you, go ahead and pop in what your brilliant thing is. And it could change every day, by the way. I have so many brilliant things. Paul Coate is one right now.
Amen.
Dude, I love that guy.
Yep.
I forgot how much I loved him because we haven't even met in person, by the way.
You and Paul haven't?
No.
Well, you got to, because
I know. Not weird.
He's an S-tier individual.
Yeah, I met a lot of people during the pandemic over Zoom that I feel like I've hugged, but I haven't.
Yeah.
So Paul Coate is one of those things. These shirts with the states on them that make me feel like a student on National Teacher Appreciation Day. That's one of my things.
Getting your power knocked out during your live stream talk show and having your guests not only take over the show, but build its followership.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
It can also be little things like coffee. It can be things like snacks from the Baltics.
It could be something like a well-EQ'd vocal line.
Dan loves that.
Yeah.
We had so many of our audience members put dog cuddles, snuggles, things like that, which I absolutely agreed. Lena,
who, by the way, we met randomly in the lobby of a hotel in Buffalo, New York, and she's been with us for 6 years now.
Yep.
With us.
We love
travel with her.
Lena.
Yep.
Someone says cuddles with my golden doodles. I totally agree with that. Cuddles with dogs are a big one. The energy of a heavy metal concert. These are great, beautiful things.
Yep.
Making a flower grow. So no matter what your day's doing, think about first of all, the amazing advice that Paul shared today, because I'm going to take that with me all week long.
And thank you for tuning in today. You are all brilliant things. If you're not following us, you can follow us here, and here. And we're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight/Standard Time, as it may be.
Yes.
Thanks for being here. We love doing this. And hey, big shout out to the teachers this week, because where would any of us be without them?
Yep, absolutely. We love you, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. And
bye.
Send money.